My Rolls-Royce Phantom has been parked outside for the last few days. Why? Getting my garage floor epoxied here and also the shop. It's in the first stages. They came and they used a machine to grind down the concrete, get it nice and smooth. We've gone with this ash color. And right now, I guess I could walk on it. It's got this fleck material on it. They're coming back today to do the gloss covering. So we're trying to fix up the garage where I keep the Phantom parked, make it look a little nicer. We painted the walls gray. We're doing this black and gray kind of, flooring. We're gonna add some LED lighting. We're gonna spruce it up in here because, if you're gonna park a Rolls-Royce Phantom in your garage, the garage needs to look nice. So we're doing some changes in here, and I'll show you what we're doing to the shop. So this is going to be one of the workshops out in the shop. We're doing the exact same flooring in here. A lot of echo in here. And you're going to pour epoxy today. You guys, right? You're going to come back and pour?
The top coat.
The top coat?
Yeah.
And then that's only one top coat, right?
Correct.
And then it takes like 2 or 3 days to dry after that.
Polyspray.
Yeah. This is going to be pretty awesome looking. I can't wait to see it. So it took a couple of days to get to this level. The flooring in here was really bad. Had to be ground down because it had both, laminate tile, travertine tile, big cracks in the concrete. So they used these machines to grind it all down, get it perfectly smooth, filled in all the cracks, and made it like glass. And then they put this material down, and then the top coat's gonna go on. It's gonna be nice and glossy, and it's gonna be pretty awesome. I can't wait to see how this room turns out. Of course, we're gonna do the walls in red. It's gonna be badass. Okay, and other updates, people have been asking me what happened to the Rolls-Royce. Did a couple of videos where it had fallen flat down on its nose. We had to jack it up, put wooden blocks under it to get it to the shop. So this is one of the front shocks. You can see it's literally the size of my leg. They are air-powered shocks. And really, it's kind of a bad design the way these things are put together, because they really should put in some sort of built-in, maybe spring or some kind of system to drive without the air, where the air is only supplemental, but that's not how it works. Without the air, you're not going anywhere. This thing sits flat on the ground. So when I first got this particular Phantom, this is my second one, we had replaced the front air shocks. And you can't just replace the shocks all by themselves, because there's computer programming that has to be done by a BMW professional who has the computer to do it. And you're gonna have to have somebody do that for you. You can't just change the shocks. You're gonna have to deal with a place that does it. So I went to BMW only Werkstatt here in Las Vegas, and my man Victor took care of me, and he told me, yeah man, one of your shocks is blown, the other one's not that good. And the reason they're blown is because the ones I put in a year or two ago, they're from China. If you get the original real ones from Rolls-Royce, they're like $4,000 or $5,000 a pop, and on top of that, they're not even in stock. So you could potentially spend $10,000 to $15,000 having just your front shocks done at a Rolls-Royce dealership. The alternative is to buy the eBay Chinese ones, and you can get a pair of these off of eBay for less than $1,000 and get them shipped to you in about a week. And I know what you're gonna say, you're gonna put that Chinese crap on your car. Look, you don't really have a choice sometimes. You're talking about a car that's getting a little old, and you can't get parts, but they have them in China, and what they're doing is, I don't know if they're remanufacturing them, rebuilding them, I don't know what they're doing, but they sent them to me, and we put them on the car, and it didn't take them but a day. They swapped out the shocks really quickly, programmed them, aired them up, and now they're working perfectly. The way I look at it is this: if I have to replace $1,000 worth of shocks every like 5 years or so, that's still way cheaper than the $10,000 or $15,000 I would have spent on the originals that aren't going to probably treat you any better. I don't know what happened to the other ones, if it was just a failure or a lot of bad roads, or maybe that's just because they're Chinese crap. But the deal is, that's what we did. So the labor wasn't too bad. I think it ended up costing me a couple of $1,000s altogether. But hey, that is the price you got to pay to drive a car like this. And quite frankly, when you consider the argument that if you buy a new one under warranty, well, you would be spending over $500,000. And then over the course of only a few years, the car is going to depreciate down to 10, 20%. So when you buy a $500,000 car that's worth like $100,000 when you get rid of it, you've lost $300,000, $400,000 in depreciation. But if you buy a depreciated car, already at the bottom of its depreciation, like I did, where you only buy it for 10 or 20% of its value, and then you only have to put maybe $10,000 or $20,000 into it, which one is the dummy? Which one is the one who lost the most money? The guy that bought the new car lost hundreds of thousands of dollars, whereas I have spent maybe tens of thousands of dollars, but now I have new parts. So since I've had this car, we've replaced the lower control arms, other steering components, the rotors, brake pads, air shocks. I did the injectors, the fuel pumps, a few other engine accessories and things. So let's say I've put, 10 or 20,000 into the car on top of what I paid for it. And let's say I probably got 120 grand into the car or less. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't been adding it up, but I don't have that much money in the car, and I get to drive a Rolls-Royce Phantom as my daily driver. This is the car I drive every single day. Now you guys know I bought that Ford Taurus as a goof just so I had something to take to Walmart, because I don't like taking this thing to the grocery store. Because I still got to go buy food. I still got to go to the pharmacy. I still go to Sam's and Costco just like everybody else. I have to go shopping, and I don't want to do it in this thing, because one time I came out of the Walmart and I found footprints on the hood of the car because some jackass decided to think it would be funny to jump on top of the car and take a picture. Point is, people have been asking about what did I do? And basically, if you don't have money to throw at these cars, do not buy one, right? You need to have set aside in your budget maybe 50% or 100% of what you paid for the car available to fix up the car. So like Hoovy just bought that 458 Spider that I put it in, and he got it for 100 grand, but he needs to be prepared to put 50% of the money that he put in there, maybe up to $50,000 into that car if it needs it. And that is the hoopty game, and that's how this game works. So keep that in mind when you're out there shopping for the hoopty luxury vehicles like me and Hoovy and all the other people who do that stuff. That's just my advice. All right, so I've addressed this a million times, so I'm gonna bring it up again. People ask me in the comments every single time, what about the gate? What happened to the gate? What happened to the guy that got the gate? What about the gate? When are you gonna get the gate? What happened to the guy you gave the money to the gate? Did the guy ever fix the gate? When are you gonna get a gate? I haven't got a gate. Do you see a gate? There's no gate. A year ago, I paid some guy some money to fix and build me a gate. The guy took the money and didn't build the gate. He did finally pay me back the deposit that I gave him. So the guy that I was dealing with paid me back my money. Took him almost a year to do it, but he paid me back the deposit I gave him, and he went on about his way. I haven't gotten the gate done because I've decided I'm not gonna do a regular gate. I wanna put up a big giant wall, with a big concrete thing that cuts in, and we're gonna have another type of gate here. So I wanna have like a big concrete thing that comes in probably almost to where I'm standing, so that there's enough room for a vehicle to drive in. And then there'll be a gate here. It's gonna take a while, there's a lot of bureaucracy. I gotta get permits. It's gonna cost a lot of money. So that's the plan. We're gonna build a giant wall, and that's why I haven't done it yet, because we got a lot of construction going on over here, and I'm just having to live with it. That's what the cop car is for. It keeps people out. There's a lot of traffic here. It drives me crazy. I want to get rid of the sounds of the cars. And for the millionth time, no, we have not opened the safe. It's still sitting here a year later like a big piece of furniture. We don't know what's in there. We haven't tried to open it. It's so heavy, we can't move it. We'd have to get somebody to come over here. I think what we're gonna try to do is drill a hole through the back of it and run an inspection camera in there to see if there's anything in there. But I'm pretty sure that if this safe sat here for 40 years and the previous owners, they either had access to it or didn't, they didn't just die. They moved out. And I don't think they would move out leaving anything of real value in the safe. So I'm not putting a lot of importance in there because I'm not really expecting to find much of anything in there. And even if we do, it can't be super valuable. So that's why we haven't opened the safe. We've just been so busy working on the house and all the other projects we're doing, trying to get this shop running and trying to get things at the house repaired. We just haven't had time to mess with it. We'll get around to it eventually, and we'll do a video on it. Don't worry. Just stay subscribed, stay tuned. I've been super happy with my Icon Harbor Freight tools and toolboxes. It's already getting to be a mess. We're setting up this area here to be sort of the tool and work area where we can do welding, mechanical stuff. The room that we're doing the epoxy in is going to be more of a clean room for doing electrical and soldering, desk, bench top work. A little bit cleaner environment where we're going to have air conditioning, air filtration, things like that. In the summertime, it gets pretty unbearably hot in here. We're going to have a water cooler directly across from me there and over there. But just the radiation of the heat coming off of this wall and the ceiling is why this room was made in the first place, so that you have a place to go inside where it's air conditioned and cooled. And the walls are like 6 inches thick or more and well insulated with metal on the outside and sheetrock on the inside with insulation. So it stays like an ice box in there. It's almost like a walk-in cooler. So a simple mini split like the one that we have over here is going to do a great job of keeping it warm and cool. So we're going to be able to do a lot of really cool things. And the design of this building, the way the guy built it, he designed it so that these access doors here are always in the shade. The sun always shines on that side of the building. So with that in mind, we could open up this sliding door here and pull a vehicle right up here or right up next to it. And we would have access to all of our tools and things right here to be able to access whatever it is we're working on. We have 220 power for welding. We have air hoses. We have a big, gantry crane. We have the pit there. We're going to put a lift over there. And we do plan to put a garage door over on the opposite side there where the epoxy floor is going to be. And that'll be an area for working on the smaller cars like the DeLorean, things like that. I mean, you'd be able to pull just about any car in there with an 8-foot door for the most part. But it'll be designed primarily for the DeLorean cars or other, smaller vehicles. But probably what's going to happen in that room is going to be things like electronics work. Like if you wanted to rebuild a carburetor, but you wanted to do it sitting at a bench in a nice area, or if you wanted to do finer work, like, building a model car, working on a watch, doing some soldering, electronics, that kind of thing, that'll be the room that'll happen. And guys like me like to tinker. And whether it's working on a piece of electronics or a prototype or maybe even resin casting or something, you need to have a nice air-conditioned shop that's not too dirty like this, but not also in your house and not in your garage. You want to have a shop environment where all I have to do is walk out the door and get any kind of tool I want. There's air compressor access in there, 220 electrical access in there. So that's going to be a really cool workshop, and I know I'm going to spend a lot of time in there, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm also expecting to use this room probably as the studio that we shoot a lot of our video in. This is going to be cut out, and this is where the barn door, garage door is going to be accessed and installed. We're going to have a mini split here, as I mentioned. The design that we're going to do is this is going to be a nice glossy epoxy floor after today. Once they lay the top coat on, we won't be able to come in here for about 3 days. So I'm just going to let it steep for about a week, make sure it's nice and dry. Then we're going to come in and we're going to put a black 6-inch border, out of like, what is it, 1/2 by 6 or whatever, 4, whatever it is. We're going to put a nice black border all along the bottom. Then we're going to do another one that like a chair rail that's going to run across the middle that's going to be black. The lower section will be kind of a darker gray, not too different than the floor. And then the top section to the roof will be red, of course. And then we're going to leave the ceiling white. We're going to change some of these other fluorescent lights to LEDs. And then we'll have our workbenches and things that'll go basically all the way around this thing. It's going to be really awesome. I have air access here that's piped in from the built-in air compressor out there. So we'll have air. When we be able to bring a car in here, I want to have maybe a little small flat scissor lift that I'll be able to lift the DeLorean up or other little cars. And that won't be in the way too much. But I'll probably spend the majority of my time, right in this little area or right in that area where we're going to have some workbenches and things, And I'm looking forward to doing some really cool videos in here because we're going to do a little bit of soundproofing so it doesn't have this echo. I've got some foam and things that we're going to put up to try to keep the sound down for whenever we're making noise. And we'll probably use this to do a lot of different video stuff in. This is something I've been working for a long time, and it's going to be great when it's all put together. I haven't got all the pricing and the numbers in yet because I know you guys are going to ask me how much the floors are costing. you can expect to spend $2,000-3,000 per 2-car garage to do an epoxy floor. That seems to be the going average. So me and a bunch of other friends, neighbors, we're all kind of pooling together. We've gotten these guys out of LA to come and do some work for us. And they're big fans of mine as well as my friends. And I don't want to name drop too much, but pretty much all of the rock stars that live out here in Vegas, we all started calling each other and going, dude, we got this guy we know that does floors. And started passing this dude around, and he's from LA. He's been out here for like a month doing everybody's garages and stuff. So once you find somebody that's really good, you got to stick with them. These guys are out of LA. They're really good. They are doing a kick-ass job. It's costing me a little bit more money than I wanted to spend on a floor. I mean, I could have just had a concrete floor. I could have just put in tile. But dude, the epoxy floors that I've seen these guys do over at my other buddy's house and stuff, it's unbelievable. It's a whole other level, right? And if you're gonna park a Rolls-Royce in the garage, you need to park it on a really good epoxy floor. You know, I want that garage to look as cool as my car. Same thing with this. And these guys do like, and actually I'm getting like, I don't want to say the lower end, but I'm getting the lower end of epoxy floors as compared to what these guys do. I've seen them do like this glittery gloss. I mean, they do this amazing floor that looks like liquid. So, but I don't want to do all that. Like I said, I'm just going to have a regular shop. I'm going to have toolboxes in there and things. And so I figured, you know what? I went with the darker ash color. My buddy Eric went with a lighter, whiter fleck color. And it looked to me like, you know, like the pool at a Holiday Inn. And he kind of regrets the color. He's like, you know, I wish I'd have gotten that dark color too. So you got to be careful when choosing your colors, you know, so it doesn't look too industrial like a hospital or a school. That's why I went with the darker color. I think it's going to look cool. You know, you're seeing it just the raw fleck on the epoxy. When they put that clear coat on, when you see later on in the video, it's going to have a completely different look. There's a little video. It's still drying. It's wet. They told me I can't go on here for a couple of days. So we had to remove the water treatment system over there and clear everything out while the floor dries for a couple of days. So I'm gonna give it a, you know, probably till like Monday or something. I'm gonna give it an extra couple days. We're gonna redo this like grate here with stainless steel. And we're gonna repaint, we're painting these walls. We're doing a whole bunch of stuff in here. We're redoing the lights. It's gonna look completely way cooler in here. But I'm glad I went with a darker color. They said it won't be quite this shiny when it dries, but it's gonna be pretty shiny. And we're gonna, you know, I wanna clean up all, this is just nasty looking. I'm gonna fix all this. This garage is gonna be sweet. Maybe I'll get some of those like hexagonal like lights they use for car detailers or something in here. That would be cool. But I can't wait to do something cool with this floor. It's gonna be nice. Okay, a little bit later. I didn't get any video of the guys working because I was busy and they were busy. So here's some progress on the shop. Hey, so this is just some dirt on the floor. So painted the lower level gray and the upper level red, my famous red. I went and picked up some of these tables at Sam's. You know, these are adjustable height. So we're gonna have a desk and some more of these tables. There's gonna be a glass window here. We're gonna have a mini split up there, as we mentioned. There's gonna be black, we've got this baseboard over here. You can see where we painted it black, right? So this is gonna go along the floor and along that middle line. So basically when you put a toolbox or table, it'll be like a chair rail, as they call that. So that black bar will run all the way down the middle, which will add a nice contrast and also protect the wall. And we'll put another one along the baseboard. I need to go pick up some black caulk. Black caulk. Big black caulk. So that's gonna be cool. I need to get some more of these tables. I'm working on getting this damn door done. That isn't even close. We're gonna take out these old fluorescent lights and put in LEDs. I need to get some nice stainless steel covers for all these little, you know, sockets all over the place. This is gonna be a cool shop. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be cool. We're gonna get the floor clean. It's nice and shiny. It smells all painty and epoxy-y in here. So it's kind of stinky. But I need to bring my little ionizer in here and that'll clear it up. you know, look, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna have cool colors, nice shop colors, my colors, red and black with gray. And it's gonna be a nice work environment to work on stuff. That's gonna be great. I love the Seville Classic stuff they sell at Sam's. These you have to special order. You know, you got, oh, it's got one big drawer, I see. Nice. Very cool. All right, real quick, let's take a look and see how the garage turned out. I think it came out great. All right, let's see how the garage came out. Came out really good. Already getting tire marks on it. I put this piece of rubber down here for seal. I want to replace this grate with like a stainless steel plate or something that looks terrible. Working on that. And you know, because it's a dark floor, I'm out here in the sunlight here, it's gonna be hard to keep this clean. I mean, it's already dirty after just a few uses. But I think it came out really good, you know, compared to what it was. So we've been working on this drain system here because the drain, you know, water, not so much from rain because we don't get a lot of rain, but the sprinklers come down. You can see where the water comes in. It goes into that drain, goes into here and fills this up with water. And I'm trying to get that fixed. So anyway, I think it came out really well. So yeah, I'm really happy with how the garage floor came out and the shop floor came out. Working on, I want to do this, repaint and reseal all this driveway. I don't like this brown, this baby shit brown. It's really not my gig. Really happy with how it came out though. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this update. Shop looks great, garage looks great. It's fantastic.